Hey everybody, we're back for another bonus coffee talk, and I have with me this morning Amanda Gleason.
Good morning.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. So we're being all formal, but I love this woman. We're actually really good friends, and she supports our operations here at the VIP Center. So how did we get to know each other?
Honestly, it was through LinkedIn. I had updated my profile and you contacted me about an opportunity.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Gosh, boy, my memory is going. Now it's all coming back to me.
So that was about 7 years ago, maybe longer.
Yeah. Well, you actually, didn't you come to my house? I was trying out a new kind of workshop using art, and didn't you come to my house?
Yes, I came to one of your talks at actually somebody else's house. I think it was for your book launch, but yeah. So a lot has happened since then.
Right. I mean, we could probably write a movie about it.
We probably could. That was pre-VIP Center.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, goodness. Well, we are here today to focus on you and everything that you are doing in the HR world. So I want to dig into some juicy nuggets about that.
Okay.
But for those who don't know you, what would you say what's your story?
My story? Well, I'll give you a quick introduction. My name's Amanda Gleason. I am an HR advisor, a HR compliance expert, and a process and systems problem solver. So my business, People First HR, provides business owners with quick, compliant, and effective solutions to their HR problems. So we're really just a one-stop shop for business owners, and we love working with those small to medium-sized businesses to help them shore up their HR functions. That's really kind of my niche and my specialty.
Yeah. So how did you actually get into this?
So I spent about 10 years as an admin assistant, so got really good at administrative functions, and then about 12 to 15 years in HR in the corporate world. And a lot of the places that I worked were businesses that were growing really fast. So they were smaller businesses that were growing really fast, and I was in their HR department, and we were busy reacting and responding to some of the changes that were happening in the business. So I got really good at building kind of that HR foundation that could support the business as they were growing. So it was kind of my training ground, I think, for what I'm doing today.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you also handle our HR function for the VIP Center too, so we're very appreciative of that, because I sure don't want to deal with that.
That's a good testimony, yes.
Yeah, it's true. And you've just been so valuable to us. I mean, one thing that I love about you is you're very pragmatic. You get down to the nuts and bolts of things, and there are all kinds of HR roles that a person could have. I mean, I was in HR over my corporate career, and you do a lot of the things that I'm like, I could never just do that for a living.
Yeah.
So dig a little bit more into, what your day-to-day looks like.
Yeah. So one of the things that I like to say to business owners is they want to spend their time building and growing their business. That is their main focus, and they don't want to worry about HR.
Right.
And so what we do is we work with businesses, and we really assess what their specific needs are based on their industry, based on how they're growing, and what their resources are, and then we provide the solutions that fit that.
Yeah.
And so that really could look like a lot of different things depending on what their needs are. So it could be, maybe they just need a system. And one of the neat things about what I do is I have a lot of vendor partners that can provide solutions that are all different sizes.
Right.
So even if you're a small business, you can still find a payroll function. So there are a lot of things that we can provide that are right sized to the business that really can turn the HR function into like an autopilot for the business owner.
Yes.
And that gives the business owner a lot of peace of mind, and they've got this external resource for them.
Right. These days, small to medium-sized companies in particular, they simply can't continue to do things manually because they will. It's just like with Kodak and what happened to them. They got into the mindset, we're not changing, we're just going to keep doing what we've been doing, and and they ended up going out of business. Now, I mean, that's a larger organization, But small organizations, especially in the environment that we're in right now, they just can't make it. And I remember that we were consulting together for a small manufacturing organization here locally, and they were looking for a new system. And you remember, you know what situation I'm talking about? Yeah. So I think that that's one of the services that you provide that is so extremely valuable, and it just causes so much cost savings to occur and efficiencies to happen. That situation, I think it was more of a, what was this? It was an HRIS system?
It was a training, it was a learning management system.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You know, manufacturing, as you can imagine, has lots of requirements for training their employees, and you have to keep up on that constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's tracking, there's documentation, there's, you know, content development, there's all things that go along with managing that. So what we were able to do was identify a solution that was right sized for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what value we bring to the client in that regard is, you know, we can kind of cut through all of the options that are out there and bring you, say, your top 3 solutions. You don't have to spend your time on Google looking through all of the reviews, looking at all the options. We do that for you,
right,
and bring you 3 options and walk you through the pros and cons of each one, and then of course pricing and all that comes along with that. So that's the value we bring. Anybody can use Google to look something up. You can use Google maybe even to answer your HR questions, but
right.
There's so much content out there, you have to dig through it to figure out, well, is this really the right answer?
Right.
So having an HR resource or an HR advisor to help you with that really is valuable, because you could spend all day long sifting through that and maybe not even get the right answer. And the other thing, you know, that an HR advisor would bring is the gift of experience.
Yes.
So, you know, and the practical application of these different things. But specifically around, to get back to technology, there are so many solutions out there for small businesses. So what I would say is, don't think you can't afford it, because you probably can. There's probably a solution out there that's the right size for you.
Yeah, and it seems to me, you know, what I've learned about what you do is that small to medium-sized organizations, they can't afford to continue using the same old broken down processes. That's actually causing them to lose money. In the long run, right?
Yeah, and the other thing I would point out about that is employees expect that their employer is going to have access to certain tools, and online tools, you know, not paper and manual processes. So employees have this expectation that you're going to be, you know, technologically sound. You're going to be current with what's going on in the world in terms of technology. And so for you to be able to attract and retain employees, you need to have some of these things available to you, because employees see that as a value add. And they see that as a company that's dedicated to continuing to grow, you know, their business and continue to look forward and not being kind of stuck in the old way of doing things.
Right. So one of the things that you specialize in is HR compliance. And so you have a whole process that you go through for a company to help them. And I know that you've worked with companies before that they had no idea what was going on in their HR files or their system, or if they were compliant. And so talk a little bit more about what some of the things are that you've done there, and how you help companies to stay compliant.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit of a nerd in this way, and I love this part of kind of the process, where other people are like, kind of like Angie, like, oh no, please don't make me do that. And I'm like, yes, let's dig in. So one of my first clients that I did this for, and it's an HR assessment, they were actually transitioning from a PEO to bringing all of their HR and payroll in-house. And so they brought me in to help them build all of their functions. And so that process, what that looks like is just really assessing, where are you today? What are your gaps or risks? And then the great thing that you get is this HR roadmap, or this HR success report that shows you the areas that you're doing well, because likely there's some things that you're doing really well, and then the areas that you might need to do some work on or that you might have some risk. And so we provide, a best practice option, but there's varying levels of options that you can choose to be, compliant and to bring your functions up to date. And so going through that process, then the business owner has kind of an idea of, okay, now I know what my risks are and I can respond to those.
Right.
The worst thing is not knowing, is being side blinded by, some problem or audit that then, you're having to respond to, and you're on your back foot instead of on your front foot. So it's just a really fun way to help clients with understanding what HR is, because it does educate them quite a bit. They don't need to be the expert, we can be the expert, but at least they know, and then we can work with them to shore up the functions. And so that was one of my first clients, and they're still my client today.
Yeah.
So that was about 2017.
Right.
And they've gone through a lot of different changes, and I've just been there to support them through all of that, and it's just been a really valuable relationship. I really value them a lot.
Well, you are a person that you are a relationship builder, and you like to build that trust. You like to work with organizations in a very honest but positive way. Yeah. And I'm thinking back to, a client that you actually did an HR audit for. You worked through their system and, came up with, hey, here are the greens, reds, and yellows what you did. And companies never think that, catastrophic things are going to happen to them.
Right.
And the organization that you were working with later, they actually had an employee who was killed in the manufacturing plant. And so totally not expected. Yeah. But what that triggered was all kinds of compliance agencies coming in to really look them over. Exactly. And what a blessing it was that you had already been in that situation a few years prior to help them to get on the track to HR compliance. And I'm just pointing that out because many times people they're like operating in the moment. We'll just get by. Exactly. But HR compliance is so critical right now. Anything could happen, and you're going to position yourself well.
Exactly.
When you're doing these kinds of audits.
Yeah. And it's easy to get in that mode of, and when I was in corporate and these businesses were growing, that was kind of the mode they were in. We're just kind of putting things together as we go. And I feel like, the value that I brought in that role was I cared about it being right. I cared about it being not having to redo it later.
Right.
If we're going to build it right, or, build your skeleton and then we'll add to it. So, and that's scaling. So it's very easy to do that, when you're not in a situation where you're dealing with some sort of catastrophic thing. So getting those functions and processes in place now, even if you have 6 employees, there's a little bit of HR that you need even with 6 employees.
Right.
You need payroll, you need job descriptions, you need to understand how to pay people fairly, you need to understand how to handle employee relations problems so they don't turn into serious issues later, but more importantly, to maintain your company's integrity and employee morale. So, I really focus on building integrity into your policies and practices that will help you not only treat people fairly, but really make them feel valued. Right.
So the third leg of your business is really HR advisory services, and you provide that. You're an incredible advisor to me. Sometimes you tell me things I don't want to hear.
That's my job.
but I know that you're doing it because you are a person of integrity and you run a tight ship in terms of your business. So when we say HR advisory services, what does that actually mean?
So that is usually situational. So it could be you have a specific issue or problem that you want to talk through. And that's where I would come in. So a lot of times a small business, they don't need somebody full-time, but they need an on-call person. So the HR advisory services are more of that kind of on-call opportunity to have a lifeline to help answer an HR problem. And it could be just, again, one thing, you need one thing, and then you don't need anything for 6 months, and then, you need something else. So that can look a lot of different ways. So a lot of times though, HR advisory, it's very situational and probably employee specific. That's usually what those look like. I even have helped with some employee investigations where they just need a neutral outside party to come in and do some interviewing and investigating and put together a report. So I've done those things. And I really love the advisory part because I get to work with business owners that really, they care about the outcome of the situation. They want to obviously, mitigate their risk, but also a lot of times they want to take care of the employee too.
Right.
And that's what I love about being in the consulting role and working with a lot of different companies is just knowing that they value HR as much as I do. And typically we're aligned on our values and our authenticity and integrity. And that's really important to me, to work with companies that have those same values in mind.
Right. Well, I tell you what, you are the full HR package for sure. So anybody who works with you, they're definitely getting a gem for sure.
Thank you.
So you're going to be at VIP Week, and you've been very instrumental in helping us put VIP Week together. We've got, what can people expect when they come to VIP Week?
Yeah, so I'm so very excited. I definitely put my administrative skills to work and helping the team plan it. It's definitely takes a team effort, but we have a lot of great speakers lined up, and these are female speakers who are coming to share their specific trick or trade or advice on how to live life. Like our theme this year is
Mission Mindset Matters.
Yes, so we have a lot of speakers coming in to talk about that. And so on Monday we have a great, and this first year we're doing it, so we're doing a keynote and a dinner. Really excited about that. Our very own Angie Nuttle is going to be speaking there. So that's Monday evening, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have all of our speakers lined up for what we call 30-minute clinics. So these are short, quick, informative sessions where you're going to walk away with tools. So something that hopefully will change your life and help you get better or improve kind of your professional situation. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday we have our VIP scholarship presentation.
Yay! I cannot wait for that.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So each year we have a application process where young entrepreneurs, well, you don't have to be young, but entrepreneurs will apply for our scholarship, where they get $1,000 seed money, and then they get coaching from the VIP Center. So that's on Friday morning, and then we have a fashion presentation in the afternoon. So one of our own members, Marty J. Stiles, she's going to be speaking and then doing some audience makeovers. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that Friday is retail therapy.
Yes.
I think we're doing massages.
Yes.
We have Victoria Odeka-Maya, who's going to be doing headshots down here in our studio.
Yep.
So it's going to be a fantastic event. So we really want to encourage you to register for that. You can register for part or all of it. But today we have a special promotion going on, and today is the last day for it. You can get 2 full week registrations for $99.
Wow.
You cannot beat that. It's an incredible value. We would love for you to be here. We have a great mix and diversity of women who are coming to speak. We have corporate women, we have entrepreneurial women, we have women of faith. So there's something for everybody at VIP Week. You can register, learn more and register at www.vipcenter.works/VIP Week. You can register there. You can see the whole agenda, all of the topics, all of the speakers, all of our sponsors, which Amanda happens to be one of our priority sponsors. So thank you, Amanda.
And all of our vendors are listed there too. So we don't only have vendors on Friday, but we'll have them on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as well.
That's right. All right. Well, Amanda, so how can people get in touch with you?
So my web address is www.peoplefirsthindy.com, and then my email address is the same, Amanda@peoplefirsthindy.com. So you can reach me there. We'll post that in the comments for you. Would love to hear from you. I offer 30-minute consultations. So if you have HR topic or problem you want to talk through, feel free to schedule that with me. I would love to chat with you.
All right, Amanda, thanks so much for being on today.
All right, thanks.
All right, everybody, listen, we hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, and we hope to see you at VIP Week.
Yes.
Bye-bye.